Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So if you didn't already know, I'm making a treasure hunting video in every state in the United States. And today we are going to be knocking out the state of Nebraska. Now originally I wanted to include it in my road trip that's coming up. I'm going from Denver over to Pennsylvania and back and hitting a bunch of different states during that trip. And Nebraska is obviously within that route. However, the original idea was to find some gold in the Platte River along Interstate 80, but all of that is privately owned, and I would have to go on the assessor's website and call around and bother people and ask permission and kind of maybe not get a chance to do so. Now there is gold in Nebraska, you have to take my word for it, but it's just kind of a pain to get permission to find it. So anyway, that kind of bummed me out, and I wanted to find a different thing to do in Nebraska. And so up in the northwestern panhandle of Nebraska, there's the Ogalala National Grasslands, and there's a bunch of like badlands and all kinds of cool rocks everywhere. And so if you've seen my South Dakota episode, I think this is going to be kind of like that, because you can find Fairburn agates here, you can find prairie agates and lace agates, and you can find Nebraska Blue, chalcedony, blue agates and stuff. I don't know if we're going to find anything. I'm going to try my best to look up there for a couple hours. We have a couple hours of daylight. I might stay overnight and stay there tomorrow if I don't find anything today. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the video in Nebraska. 148 miles on the odometer. I named the car Batman. You know what? I'm here in Guernsey, Wyoming on the North Platte River, which goes directly into Nebraska, which is over here. I'm gonna go ahead and pan for a little bit of gold right here, because if there's gold here, there's gold in Nebraska, which is right over here. So let's find some gold in Wyoming to prove there's gold in Nebraska, and then we will continue our trip up to Crawford. A freshly sharpened shovel. I'm just gonna pick a spot over here by the water. All right, I'm starting a small hole here, and these are my tailings. Really interesting looking rocks. So little pieces of quartz. All right guys, that was way easier than I expected. There's some Wyoming and future Nebraska gold. So there's definitely gold here. I guess I'll pan out the rest of this. I'll grab that with my snuffer bottle here. Have to use two hands for that. But yeah, we found some gold in Wyoming that's headed to Nebraska in probably 1,000 years. Yeah, that was pretty easy, way easier than I thought. I thought it would take a couple buckets of material to find at least a piece of flour gold. But it took about 10 minutes. Parked, walked down, fill up the bucket. I ran 2 shovelfuls and we found some. All right, let's head to Nebraska. All right, guys, we made it. I can't be outside and record because it's so windy out. But here's our current location. And this is where we're gonna start seeing all kinds of interesting badlands, washes, and, you know, gravel all over the place, rock piles and stuff. I am going towards the Toadstool Geological Park and Campground. All right, I am now using my lav mic. Hopefully that cuts down on the wind. I went ahead up here. I came here to the camping site. So it's $7.50 a night. And I am staying one night. I'll be staying in campsite number 2, which is... All right, well, this is Nebraska. It is March, and it is very windy. And so I'm out there speaking, and even with my microphone inside my shirt. So what we're gonna do, I wanna turn the camera on, I'll show you where we're going. These are the Badlands area of extreme northwest Nebraska in the Panhandle. And there's different areas where we can just walk around and look for rocks. See, there's a fence here. I think that's private, we can't go there. But if we just walk this way, we should be able to like at least look around and maybe find something cool. So I'm finding a lot of this stuff here. It's kind of like layered. There's a lot of it. And I'm just in a little stream bed here. I didn't even make it over to that yet. I should probably head back and get my spray bottle and a little bucket before I head any further. Come on. Where is he? There he is. All right, I found a little non-windy spot down here so I could talk to you and tell you what I'm about to do. So this pile here, this is what I'm gonna go search around. I'm gonna try to get on top of it, go all around it. Maybe we could find something good. No rattlesnakes out yet, so he's good. I was worried about that at first. There are cactuses around though, so. But he's learned his lesson with cactuses before. All I have is a little spray bottle because it hasn't rained for a long time here. And then I do have my rock hammer, but I'm just gonna use this to pry. It's all surface finds anyway, you can't dig anyway. So I'm just gonna use this if I see anything that's stuck in the rocks. Let's go. We have probably an hour left of sun, maybe 2. So one of the things you can find here is petrified wood. I'm not 100% sure, but I mean, that could be. I don't know. Wow. Okay, I can see all kind of chalcedony in there. Quartzite, something. I am not an expert, by the way. A few of the things we can find here are lace agates, petrified wood, Nebraska Blue chalcedony, jasper. That's a piece of granite there. What are you doing up there? I never saw him climb that high before. All right, I'm just gonna poke around here and see what I can find. You know what? I think that might be a fossil, that first thing I found. I think that's a fossil. It looks like a bone, doesn't it? Definitely. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to take that. I'm specifically looking for agates. That stuff is crazy looking. It's definitely banded. I think that is the Nebraska State Gemstone, which is the Nebraska Blue chalcedony, or they call it agate too, but it's really not an agate, even though agates are chalcedony. Like, it's literally everywhere. I think the closest thing to an agate is this one. It's got like banding, but it's not an agate, I don't think. Maybe? Man, there's some really cool rocks up here. That's a keeper. Now, it's also possible to find Fairburn agates here. They're super rare, but I'm definitely keeping my eye open for that. I came back down and I noticed this. I'm not sure if it's definitely cool. There's a lot of those. Look at this piece. It's like definitely a keeper. Just kind of stuck in the mud here. I'm pretty sure this is a Nebraska Blue chalcedony. That's a keeper. All right, I found this little area here that's kind of like naturally kind of just like lower. And I found this. I think this is actually I think that's a piece of petrified wood right there. I think. I mean, you can see the wood fibers in it. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that's it. That's the first piece of petrified wood I've ever found, I think. Here's a nice piece of Nebraska Blue. Like, I'm not putting much pressure on that, and it's sinking right in. Huh, what kind of rock is this? These big chunks here have pits all over them, and it looks like they came out of here. I think somebody else was here cracking rocks, and cool. I'm not seeing any agates over here though. It's starting to get pretty dark to the point where it's hard to kind of spot anything. So I think we're gonna call it a night. I'll keep looking around until I absolutely can't see anything. But yeah, this is awesome out here. All right, I'll probably see you guys tomorrow morning. All right, good morning everybody. It is the next day. We're going for our morning walk here in the Toadstool Geological Park. And look at the ground here. You see all these black rocks. It looks like black because the sun isn't up yet. This is all Nebraska Blue chalcedony. We're not allowed to collect from this area, but it's just mountains of it. Yeah, I think it's safe to say mission accomplished in Nebraska. I thought it was going to be, you know, fairly difficult to find some, but there's literal big piles of it everywhere. Didn't find any agates though, because these aren't, even though it is chalcedony and it's layered, it's still not considered an agate. This place is just so cool. You can see there's a distinct seam. You can see it right there. It goes all the way up. Another fossil. This one has teeth in it. That is so neat. So that's what I'm looking for. Agate collectors scour the hillsides for treasures. All right, I made it back home, and this is everything that I found yesterday and early today before I left. Up there at the Ogalala National Grassland in the extreme northwest corner of Nebraska in the Panhandle. So we're going to start on this side and then go over there. First, let's get this big one out of the way. This thing was all one piece, and as I was washing it over here, I dropped it, and I'm kind of glad I did, because my idea was this was showing on the edge, so I thought if I sawed it in half, it would be really nice. But it looks like the inside, well, actually there are some crystals in there. The inside wasn't as great as it wasn't blue. There was a lot of crystals and stuff, but that would have been kind of a waste of time to try cutting that in half. But hey, at least we know what's inside of it, and that'll make a cool display in my garden with my other rocks over there. Okay. Now over here, this was just kind of an uncategorized gemmy piece. I wasn't sure how to categorize it. It's not a Nebraska Blue. It's more just like crystals, like a matrix of crystals. Then over here, I found these little geode type things. I don't know if I showed these on camera. I didn't crack them open. This is how I found them. But you can see there's a couple different pieces here, and all of them have like a little crystal vug in there. I thought those were really neat. I was not expecting to find stuff like that. Down here is just some more like, this is a piece of chalcedony, right? I thought this was like carnelian, but I think it's jasper because it's not translucent. It's probably jasper, but I'm not 100% sure. Thought it was a cool rock. A lot of these were extremely dirty when I picked them up. I just kind of threw them in the bucket, hoping they were an agate when I got home after cleaning them off, but they were not. All right, next is the Nebraska Blue chalcedony. Agate, even though it's not really agate, they call it agate. But you can see, it's kind of like layered. In the middle, there's like a crystal part. Most of them are like that. Because remember that vein that we saw, it's very thin, and these pieces just break off and go all over the ground. This is probably my favorite piece, just because it has all these little, I don't even know what they're called. Somebody's gonna let me know what they're called in the comments. But this piece was crazy. They're like little eyes on there, kind of like it would be an agate in the future, but it's not yet. I would hate to cut this thing because it's really cool. And also this stuff is pretty fragile, so if I tried cutting it, it would probably split all over the place, kind of like this one did. Here's another really interesting piece. It has like really weird kind of like crystals and stuff in it. I know that is Nebraska State Gemstone. And then over here, these were rocks that I thought might be agates, right? When I saw them out there, I was like, okay, I'll take them back and look at them closer. I don't think any of them are agates. Maybe a prairie agate here. Not 100% on it. I think that might be a prairie agate. There's a ton of different kinds of agates, by the way. It's just a cool rock. Some of these, like this one here, I think it could be an agate if I cut it in half. Maybe we'll do that. I'll let you know on the screen. I will cut this in half, and I'll let you know if that's an agate or not. Same with this one. It's kind of like, it's got agate-like features on the outside, but I don't see any bands. This here had bands in it. This piece here also had bands in it. You can see it there. It kind of stuck out like a sore thumb out there, so I grabbed it. And then there's this strange little piece here with like obvious bands in it. It's kind of bluish, but just a cool piece. This little interesting porous looking rock. Thought that was neat. And then this is the petrified wood. If it's not petrified wood, then it's a fossil, which means I did something illegal, because you're not allowed to take fossils from there. But I'm 99% sure that's petrified wood. You can see the grains in it. Actually, that one might be a bone. I think that might be a bone. Whoops. Anyway, that's what I found. My trip to Nebraska. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Timber is wondering who I'm talking to. So anyway, thanks for joining us on this trip. I have a lot more videos coming in the next couple weeks here. I'm going around the United States. I'm hitting up, I think, 8 more states in the next week or two, and there'll be a video from each of them. Thanks for watching.
Thanks again, everyone, for watching my video. If you're interested in treasure hunting and you'd like to see a couple more videos from me, check out the other one linked here on the screen. I also have a bunch of playlists you can look through. A big thanks to all the names scrolling right there. That's all my Patreon supporters and channel members. And I'll see you guys on the next video.